Hey guys, Lytane here, and I'm recording in a very echoey room, and it's probably going to come up on my recording, but this is the room in which I keep my board game collection in. Now, this is just a small collection, actually. There's more games you can't see off the camera, but this is actually considered a small collection because I don't own that many. Most people look at this and go, wow, you have so many board games, but not really. Most of these board games I haven't even played yet. But that's beside the point. I am going to be talking about one particular game in my board game collection, which is Qwirkle. I'm going to be doing a review on this glorious game because I just played through it with my friends recently, which you should totally check out. And now I want to do a full review on it. So let's get started with Qwirkle! Qwirkle is a game that was released in 2006 to a Susan McKinley Ross. She's the creator of it, and it's published by Mindware. Now, this is a game that is for 2 to 4 players. I have played it with 5 myself, and it doesn't actually change anything. It just takes longer for it to be your turn. That's about it. Now, this is the travel edition of the game. There is other editions like Cube or just the regular edition, but aside from Cube, the regular edition and this plays exactly the same. There's not even any more tiles or any less tiles if you get the travel edition. I just find it really handy to have a travel edition. Look how tiny this is. It fits into the palm of my hand mostly. And like I said, it's all the same. Like, there's no difference here, so if you're thinking of getting the real Qwirkle and it has its bigger squares, then yeah, well, by all means, go get it. But travel edition, same thing, and it's cheaper. So that's why I got it. So the way that you win in Qwirkle is to get enough points to beat all the other players. And how do you score points? Well, if you open up this bag, it's filled with all of these lovely little things. All of these squares that have different shapes and different colors. And how you arrange them on the board is how you score points. Now, it's a little bit similar to Dominoes or Scrabble if you've ever played that, but I'll go over the rules a little bit more now. So the way that you score points, let's just get rid of all of these out of the way, is that you have a couple of tiles in front of you, 6 in fact, but I usually play with 5 as a little bit of a handicap and make the game last longer, but that's just a house rule. But you play with 6 tiles in front of you, and at the start of the game, you try and put down as many tiles in one line as you can. So I can put down, say this, so 2 tiles straight off the bat. That's great, that's good, I'm scoring 2 points. For every line that you put down, you score points. So here, these 2 tiles are worth 2 points, nice and easy. Now if somebody else comes along and they're gonna put down another one, then they've just put down a green circle next to that orange circle and boom, 2 points again. You count it up, 1, 2. But if I wanted to be a little bit clever and put down, if I can find it, a green star, I can put it down here. So it just made a nice little square. This scores 2 sets of points because you count each row and then you count each column that you've just connected to. So this star would be worth 1, 2, and 3, 4. So that's pretty good. You get 4 points off 1 tile as opposed to the last guy that did 2. Now, let's get rid of that and let's make up a little thing. You can put down all of the same shape but different color, which I didn't actually grab. All of the same shape but different color. So like here I have a row full of stars, and if you put down a blue star, then somebody else can't put down a blue star in the same row. So it can only be ever 6 things long. Or if you don't want to do the same shape but different color, you can go the same color but different shape. So these are all blues, but I'm not repeating any shapes. There's only 1 X and 1 circle, 1 square, 1 diamond, 1 clover, and 1 star. So that's as simple as it is. These rules are devilishly simple on purpose. The fact that it's only same shape, different color, or same color, different... Same shape, different color, or same color, different shape. It's just 2 rules. Is super easy. And after a couple of turns when you're playing this, everyone gets that moment where it all clicks. It all just like makes sense to them when they're playing and they're like, oh man, so I can put down this blue diamond next to this blue square because it's the same color but they're different shapes. Oh, or I can put down this yellow star next to this blue star because it's the same shape but it's a different color. And when they understand that, and then they see other people scoring with that other example where they're putting down, so say, a yellow clover, boom. If they're putting down a yellow clover here and they realize they can score more points by, you know, connecting up more than one line, then they're like, and it all just clicks. And it's usually the kind of thing where it's about like a couple of turns in, or maybe it's halfway through the game when people click, but everyone does have that moment. So this is an example of what the board might look like. It's going to be different every game because you're going to be putting down tiles in all different ways every single time, which is really cool. A couple of additional rules that I didn't say yet. So as you're putting down tiles, you're going to be picking up one. So if I put down one green tile there, I'll score my points. And then I take the tiles from the bag. Once there's nothing in the bag, which triggers the end game. Now the end game just says that you put down all the tiles in your hand, and if you do, you get a bonus 6 points, ending the game, and whoever has the most points gets to win. The other main thing that where did I put it? The other rule is that if you put down all 6 colors or all 6 shapes, then you get a Qwirkle. A Qwirkle is worth bonus points. It gets you with 6 extra points, and you get to say Qwirkle, and it's a lot of fun every time somebody does it. And then that line is done. Now there's advanced strategies and all that kind of stuff, but that's pretty much all the rules. When you get to the end of the game, you see who has the most points, and boom, that's it. It doesn't matter if you got the most Qwirkles or not, it just matters about points. Now you might be thinking to yourself, that's a pretty simple game, but it is actually a lot more complex than you might think. So as you're playing through, you have to be making decisions every single turn as to what you put down, because in your hand you might be having like 2 of the star pieces, and you're looking, oh man, I'm just waiting for people to build up the stars more so I can make a Qwirkle. So you'll be holding on to them for the game, or you might go, ooh, if I put 2 stars here, then I'm going to be getting a great amount of points, but then I'll be setting somebody else up for a Qwirkle. Is it worth it? And that kind of like strategy, that kind of layering is really fun. And it does lead to a little bit of analysis paralysis at times, where people are going to be looking at this board going, oh, where can I maximize by points? Can I put a blue thing here, like a blue thing here, that will get me 5 points, or should I wait and hold on to this blue thing and this red thing and put it down later to get even more points? So this would be worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. There's no right or wrong answers. There's no right way to play. And like I said, sometimes it leads to like an analysis paralysis, where people are just staring at this board going, oh man, I have no idea, I've got no moves. But there's always a move that you can make. There's a little bit of other deep strategy that you can do. Like I said, so there's withholding tiles to help yourself later on, but there's also Qwirkle blocking. So if you see that there is a rung of five shapes or colors there, you can try and put something else off of its tangent, like putting it next to it or coming in from a different direction, depending on how your board is set up, to block them. So that way there's no way that extra piece can get put down and get you a Qwirkle. There's also only 3 of every tile in the bag, and if you've played it a few times, you can count them and be like, okay, I only see 1 purple star out. That means there must be 2 more either in people's hands or in the bag, and that can lead to a little bit of, well, if I know there's a purple star out there, then I'm going to hold on to purple and hope that it comes out. Or if you see all 3 purple stars out and there's no point holding on to purple anymore because you can't get a Qwirkle out of it, then yeah, you might just start using all your your purple pieces. And so it does lead to a little bit of strategy and stuff like that. But the thing is that it's still random chance. You're picking up these tiles from a bag at random. Other players are going to be putting down things on this board to score them points, but you don't know what's going to happen. The board is different every single game. And this kind of game is welcomed to both newcomers and, whoa, there's some gunshots in my thing. This guy must really like Qwirkle. I'm just going to cut here until the gunshots stop and then pick it up again. I'm pretty sure those are like fireworks or something. I don't live in a bad neighborhood, so yeah, I guess it's fireworks. That was random. Anyways, the beauty of this game is the fact that new players and veterans can play it. If I've played this game 1,000 times, it doesn't make me any better or worse. Sure, I know some of those strategies straight off the bat, and I have already got that aha moment of how to play the game. That doesn't stop a new person from winning. They can put down these tiles and be like, oh look, I scored 9 points, or hey look, I just Qwirkle blocked you, and not even know it. And they just might be lucky. They might draw like 4 reds right out of the bag and be like, damn man, I'm gonna make a Qwirkle on my next turn with these 4 things that I just drew. And that makes it accessible to everybody, and that's what I really, really like about this kind of game, especially Qwirkle, that I can introduce it to people that have played board games for their entire life, or people that have not played board games very much, and both groups like it. But that's not to say that this game is perfect. Now, there are a few little problems that you can run into. One is that analysis paralysis, where people just take a really, really long time to decide, I'm going to put down 1 tile for 2 points. And you're like, man, I've waited 20 minutes of my life to see this. Sometimes imposing a counter or a timer will help this problem, but other times it just makes people feel edgy because now you have to go really quickly. And so that can be one problem. Another problem is the fact that it's a color game, and if you're colorblind, it's really hard to play. I played with a colorblind person once, and he made many mistakes because it's just not accessible. There's probably a way that you could get around it, like maybe you could put a letter on, like with marker, saying like the letter Y on this yellow tile, so that way they can see the letter and match it up, because the shape, they can see shapes even if they're colorblind. And so playing with a colorblind person is not going to work. Also, the fact that it's not a very long game, but there's a lot of math involved. Every time you put down a tile, you're going to score points. And sometimes it's easy, like just adding 2 to your score, but you have to have a pen and paper, or a pencil and paper, whatever, or on the side calculating everybody's points as it happens. And I don't know about you, but I'm not the biggest fan of math, and even adding and subtracting can be difficult at times. So adding up these things, so say like the number's 53, and then you scored like 9 points, and then you have to go, okay, 53 plus 9 is 62. And sometimes you can make a mistake. You can have a calculator nearby if you want, which definitely makes it easier. Don't ever play it on your phones. I once had a game where everyone had their own app, their own thing open, and it just didn't work. There are apps which are counter apps, so you can have the different names set up, and then you can have the different numbers, and you can just say +6 or +7. Those work fine too, but that's just something that this game doesn't have. Like, it doesn't have a way to make the scoring easy. But there's other things that you can get to make it easier. I've made mistakes in the scoring before. Even if you watch the video where my friends and I played through Qwirkle, I made a mistake and I only added 2 points when I got a Qwirkle instead of 12 points. So that could have really, changed the name of the game, because that's 10 points that just went missing. And you can't go back and be like, oh, no, I'm sure I scored 6 points, unless you're filming it, because, we did for that game. But most of the time you can't be like, yeah, I'm sure I scored 6 points here, because, I believe you most of the time, I guess, but I'm sorry, but the numbers are set in stone now. That was so many turns ago, so I'm sorry. It's just one of those minor complaints. But yeah, the colorblind thing is definitely something that you really have to think about before purchasing this game. So Qwirkle is a game that is extremely fun, very simple to teach. Everyone has that moment where they go, aha, I finally get it. I usually use this bag to help people learn it, because it's got the same shapes but different color, or the same colors, different shapes on the bag itself. And it's just a good visual aid for people. And it's a lot of fun. It's a very simple game. It doesn't take too long unless you've got analysis paralysis, and I really recommend this to everybody. It's a staple in my collection, and it is a game that I regularly bring out. In fact, I bought the travel edition and I've brought it on trips with me just to play with other people because it's just that accessible and that much fun. It doesn't matter if you're a board game enthusiast or not because this is just fun. It's fun in a bag. So you should definitely get Qwirkle. But tell me what you thought about this game, and if you liked it or not. And also let me know in the comments below what you thought about this episode. It's just something new that I'm trying to do in terms of reviews. It's not very scripted, so that might have shown, especially when the gunshot started happening. Like, what? I didn't plan on that. Oh, if only I'd known, then I would have incorporated that into the video a little bit more. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. So in Qwirkle, we have a nice bag full of stuff. Now, there are a lot. I didn't even get to see it on camera. I just like throwing this bag around. It's so much fun. It's so light. It's just so meh. Especially when there's no tiles in it because they're all over my table now. Yeah. Get the game.